Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at OctaSpace. So OctaSpace overall is kind of a compute layer, and then the underneath layer of it is a cryptocurrency basically. So that's what kind of drives it on the basic level, and then on top of it is all these services, so compute services that they provide, and then on top of it we have OctaSpace as a cryptocurrency. So the reason that we're talking about it today is because we can mine this on the Jasminers, and we'll get a little bit into the tokenomics, the price, and the hash rate that I kind of see, and maybe it's an opportunity to start mining it. If you do have Jasminers online, then I wouldn't say go out and buy a Jasminer just strictly for this. Maybe put a little bit of money into it, whatever, do your own research, but this is just a video to kind of give you a brief overview of it. So we have the services that they provide. It's kind of like a Dynex thing where it's, you know, computing and then a layer of cryptocurrency under it. We have rendering, which is OctaRender, cutting edge distributed rendering platform. We kind of know what that is if you're in the space. Then below that you have VPN. As I said, setting up a VPN is made easy with non-modified open source software available from multiple platforms. And then lastly, they have AI. I know that they're going to be adding a couple more things in there later down the line on the roadmap, but right now these are the three that they offer right now. So AI, rendering, and VPN. So this is what they look like in terms of available resources. I don't know if this is actually contributing to hash rate on the network. It doesn't seem like it because it's an Ethash coin, so it's normally mined by, ASIC miners. I think this is people that are renting them out to be used. So you have 203 nodes, staked OctaSpace. We'll get a little bit into like how that is staked, and a block time of around 14 seconds. Obviously on the Ethereum hash, I think it works out the same in terms of the block times. One of the partners that they do have is actually Dynex, so they kind of work on the same model where you have, as I said, cryptocurrencies and then a layer on top of it of computing, and you facilitate all the transactions within the cryptocurrency, but you can also mine it at the same time. So you upkeep the network security, but you can also make transactions on the network to actually buy all of this computing power. So when we're looking at the white paper for OctaSpace, we'll get a little bit into the mining of it right now. We do have different eras of it. This is, as you would think, an emission schedule that you see here. So start block, and then it goes into, so first era is OctaSpace, and then Articurus, Oldenburg, Zagami, Springwater, and it keeps going down. You can see the total that you're going to mine, and then what goes to the miners is 6.5. Staking is 0 for the first era, and devs get 1.5. A little bit of pre-allocation to the development team, but that does come off as we go down through these. And we've actually got a chart down below here that tells us the dates for these. So currently we're in this DNEPR phase or era, and that has 298 days. So these were very quick in terms of days, and these are each going to be maybe a little bit less than a year for each phase. And currently total coins is going to be 8 million. So this is actually the most, I would say, heavy phase in terms of the amount of coins that are coming onto the network. This is kind of why I was saying, maybe potentially it could be a good time to actually mine. But currently the miners get 1.85, staking gets 1.75, and devs get 0.4. So staking has come into effect, and you can stake, and the rewards from mining get put over to staking, obviously. And we see this hybrid proof of work, proof of stake with a lot of coins these days. Just right here is the supply and daily emissions. I don't know if you want to look into that. You can just go on the OctaSpace website, and at the top, if we go here, you can see, you just click on the white paper and you can read through it if you want to do your own research on it. So we've always got to talk about price over time. I know it's not really a massive metric for if a coin is good or not, but we see here, a steady rise. I don't know if these drop-offs are due to the phases coming in. I haven't done the actual calculations in terms of the dates, but it kind of looks like when each phase comes in, it goes up quite a lot and then dips back off. I would also hope to see it steady out a little bit. Clearly we're dropping off right now, and then maybe in December it spikes back up, or this could just be coinciding with Bitcoin. So most of the supply is already kind of circulating right now. We have a max supply of 48,000. When we go back here, it's all going to be mined in 2027. So we'll have to see how that works out on the network as a computing layer. That kind of has to be built up to incentivize miners to actually mine on the network and upkeep it. When we get into mining, obviously the Jasminers, we've talked about this multiple times on the channel. I think they're one of the best ASICs for price. So for beginners that are getting into the scene, Jasminers, normally the X16Q or P, the Pro versions as well, are very good. And they're basically your standard first ASIC that I personally would go for, just because they're easy to set up. They're not as much cost as other ASICs out there. You know, you have 10,000, 5,000. These are around 2,000 to 2,500, depending on which model you're actually getting. I wouldn't personally go for the X4. It was great back in the day, but the profitability is starting to drop off quite a lot. And then secondly, it gives you a range of coins that you can mine, OctaSpace being one of them. But when we look at the Jasminer X16P, we can see here the amount of coins that we can actually mine on it. I think that this is power blocks. Correct me if I'm wrong. You have Ethereum Fair, Ethereum Classic, Octa, Ethereum W, Bitnet Money, I think that is, and then a bunch of dual pairs with ZIL. So if you were to mine OctaSpace on it right now, you got around $8.20 in revenue. And the power, I believe, if we look up here, is around $4.56. So that would give you around $4 profitability. It's not great because you could have better profitability, but we'll get into kind of why I think you should be mining it if you're on the Jasminer. I think it has a lot of potential in the future, but it is also a very early coin on the scene. Came out back in 2022, and it didn't really start to pick up steam until the end of 2023. And then again, you have the X16Q. So I personally would go for the P version because you get way more hash rate for the price that you're going to pay. You pay around an extra $500. And if we look here, average gigahash is 5.94. And then this one is 2.09. So you're getting more than double hash rate with only $500 extra on top. But when we're on the X16Q, you can see here the electricity is $1.50 and the revenue is $2.76. So kind of the same efficiency as the X16P. It's just you get way more hash rate, so you can make more profitability per day on the X16P. One thing I do want to note is, obviously, if you are going to mine on it, please share out the hash rate. We have over 51% on K1 pool, so maybe if you are mining on this for OctaSpace, take it down to a different pool. I don't really know how much variance there is anymore. There used to be a big variance between pools that didn't hit blocks, but a lot of these top ones, even if you move it down to like here, you're still going to get blocks every day, and you're going to contribute more to that block. So I just wanted that to be noted, that we don't really want that 51% attack happening either on OctaSpace or any other coins for that reason. One thing that I'm making this video particularly about is the hash rate drop off of OctaSpace. Normally we don't see coins that have that drop off of hash rate. Normally it keeps climbing. It might dip down once or twice, but right here we actually see it start to dip down to around 12.71 terahash, whereas the highest was at around 16 terahash. So what that means is that you'll yield more OctaSpace. Now I haven't done the calculations, but yield is mainly focused on if you have conviction in the coin, you're gonna yield more, and then you have to wait for that payout to kind of happen. So you're not really going for profitability, you're going more for yield of the coin, so then hopefully later on it sells for more, and then you get your profitability back from what you paid for electricity. As I said, with the yield, I don't know if it's better if you have a Jasminer to just mine these coins and then convert it into OctaSpace. I don't know what the payoff is in terms of how much you can yield versus how much you can just buy. But I'm sure that you can take advantage of the network being down in hash rate, yield a lot more, and also take advantage of hash rate drop-offs, whereas you wouldn't be able to do that if you're mining another coin and then switching the price. But still, if you do want to mine with a Jasminer, you could potentially just mine the top profitable one and then convert that into OctaSpace. So more on the yield, so price versus yield is something that I kind of look at quite a lot. Normally what you want to see if you're going to yield a coin, or if you're looking for potential coins that have a hash rate drop off that you want to yield more of, whereas you couldn't before. So right here, there's not really much yield to be had. But as soon as this price drops off, the yield obviously goes up because people are getting off the network. And this is kind of when you want to start mining it, is when these two lines basically cross over. The yellow's on top, the orange is on the bottom. Now at the current time, I will say OctaSpace isn't as good as, say, mining Casper coin or even buying Casper coin, but I still think it's a good thing to look at because of the small market cap. You might want to hedge some of the risk into this. If we look at the market cap here, it's only around 60 million. If it goes up, 100 million, 200 million, 300 million, it'll obviously get that boost from Bitcoin. When Bitcoin takes off, it could potentially outperform a lot of the coins that you've mined previously, Radiant. I wouldn't say Lithium because that has been very good. I wouldn't say Casper coin either, but those other ones like Pirin or Carlson or anything like that, Nexa maybe, it could potentially be a better multiplier in terms of the price action going up. So that's basically my thoughts on OctaSpace. I don't know if you guys have been mining this or not. Please let me know in the comments if you are going to mine it, or if you're just going to strictly, put a little pot of OctaSpace away, buy some, and leave it for quite a while. If you are, let me know in the comments. Make sure you like the video and subscribe for more content like this.